All right, so now we're bridging the gap. Now we are going from where we want to be, and we are believing 100% in the things that we want to have. And in doing that, we are literally manifesting and raising our vibration and creating the clear path for those things to come into our life. We are collapsing the timelines of where we are and where we want to be. And we can literally achieve this with two very important visualization techniques. And this sounds super hippie, it sounds super cheesy, but this is literally science, and you can look it up on your own, research it if you want to, but this is very, very real, no matter how cheesy you think that it is. So pay attention. Every single one of us has this little part of our brain, right, that's made up of all these neurons and electrical charges, that's called our reticular activating system, right? And what that reticular activating system does is it acts like a filter, right? And it filters things into our brain, certain things, and it keeps certain things out of our brain. The plot twist is that it only brings in and allows things into the brain that it believes. It only allows you to see things and believe things that it aligns with, that agrees with what that reticular activating filter says to be true. And who do you think programs this filter? Yeah, we do. You programmed yours, I programmed mine, little Bobby over there programmed his, and the cool thing is that we all have the power to reprogram it. All we have to do is change the things that this filter believes, right? So how does it decide what it believes? The things that we tell it. Our thoughts, again, our thoughts become our emotions, and our emotions are our belief. Our thoughts are our belief system, right? And our belief system, again, we know now, was created from the thoughts that we have, that we've created and told ourselves over and over and over again, and it's created a belief. And also the things and the people in our past that have told us things that have created a belief. So for example, think of somebody in your life who thinks that everything negative always happens to them. I can name one right now. I have a family member who literally is the most negative person on the planet. She thinks that every single day she's just, all these negative things are happening to her and her life is so miserable. So every single day, without fail, all these negative things are happening to her, and yes, her life is miserable. So think for a minute, do you think that's coincidence that she is just the most unlucky person in the world and all of the bad things that could go wrong in a day only happen to her every single day? Or has she programmed her filter to believe that? Because here's the thing about this filter. Its main job is finding as much evidence and as much proof on what it believes, what you've programmed it to filter out, as it possibly can. That's its only job, is to filter out the things and to only bring in the things that you've told it to believe. So for example, if you told your filter to believe, because you think every day, and it's created a belief that at work you are looked down upon, that nobody respects you. Every time you go to work, your filter is going to find an endless amount of proof and evidence that that is true, because that's the only thing that it's looking for, right? And again, this is science, you guys. This is literally what this part of our brain is meant to do, right? And you may be thinking, why do we have this? What's the point of this? Think about it. Think about Facebook, for example. All of the things that are on just that platform, just that one little space on the internet, all the words, all the things, all the ads, all the ideas, all the different opinions, all the things that are happening a million times a minute, right? If we took all of that in, if we took in every opinion, everything, every sound, every word, every idea, every noise, if we took all of that into our brain and we believed all of that to be true, our minds would literally melt. They would literally explode, because it's too much, it's too much for it to handle. So it's created this reticular activating system to keep our brains safe, to keep them healthy, by only allowing in what's necessary. And by necessary, it's what's right, it's what it believes, right? Everything else is seen as irrelevant, right? So think of it like when you read something that you don't believe in, you don't even retain it. You're like, you can't even connect to it enough because your brain is telling you, your filter's telling you that's not true, don't waste your time on it, right? But if you do believe something, you are just laser focused on whatever that thing is because your filter aligns with it and it's telling you that it's important and that you should pay attention to it, right? So think for a minute, I watched this video and I can't remember what video it was a while ago, but I remember thinking it now when I wanted to make this video because it's so important and true. And it's like the weirdest thing. So think for a minute, I think it might have been a Tony Robbins video. I'll try to find it, and if I find it, I'll add it in the bottom. Otherwise, I'll continue on the search. But it was the idea that if you tell someone to notice all the things that are yellow for 30 seconds, just go. Think about all the things that you see that are yellow, all the things that you see that are yellow, 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 and then you say stop, and you say, okay, now how many things were red? They're not gonna be able to name anything that was red because they weren't looking for red, right? When there could be 50 things that were red and 10 things that were yellow, but they will see what was yellow because they were looking for what was yellow. They weren't focusing on the red. So the point in this is that whatever you are focusing on, whatever you believe to be true, you have programmed into your filter. You have told your filter that that is the truth and to only find and believe evidence that supports it. It's a way to keep you safe. But again, the cool thing about it is that we can change it. And another cool thing is that our brain doesn't know the difference. Listen to this. Our brain does not know the difference between something that actually happened to us, for example, getting into a car accident, that actually happened to us, or acing that test, or winning that spelling bee in 5th grade. Those things that really happened to us, our brain cannot tell the difference between that thing or something that we've imagined in our mind. If we close our eyes, it sounds cheesy, but if we close our eyes and we visualize something with the details and everything that you would imagine in real life, your brain cannot tell the difference. Guys, this is science. Your brain cannot tell the difference between that actual truth and the one that you visualized, okay? So think about the power in that. If your filter can believe things to be true that you visualize just as much as things that you can see, and what you believe to be true is what you will see in your life, what will be happening more in your life, you will have more of it, it will come in more abundance. If you can just visualize it, your filter will be reprogrammed, seriously, literally reprogrammed to now believe this new story and to now believe this new reality. Right? And just like that, you've went from never seeing opportunities to not being valued at work, right? To, oh my gosh, I am valued at work. Because if you close your eyes and visualize it, your brain's gonna think that it's real. The same way it would be real if it happened in real life. So this is the practice. This is why this is so important when we're trying to get where we want to be and when we're bridging the gap and collapsing the timelines, is having very, very, very clear visualization of what it is that we want, right? So after this, we're gonna go into scripting and we're gonna script out the life that we want as if we already have it, right? But before we go into that, I want to do this because this is, again, this is key. This is how we bridge the gap. This is how we make the connection. This is how we make the belief. This is how we shift our reticular programming brain, right? So right now, think of all the goals that you have. Maybe you have more than just your result line, but think of them right now and write them down or put them in your phone or something, but think of them very clearly in your mind, right? And there's 2 steps to this. So step 1 is closing your eyes, because this is the only way that your brain can see something that isn't really happening, is if you imagine it in your brain. So as cheesy as it sounds, and if you can't do it right now, pause this and come back when you can really sit and do this, because there's so much power in this, right? So close your eyes. Whatever it is that your goal is, visualize it. Visualize the details of it. My goal for me is I am living a completely abundant life on a beach somewhere, right? And I can see it. I see myself. I'm super fit. I am tan. I've been taking the time to nourish my body with healthy food, so I feel better. I wake up and I'm more energized. I can see myself that way. I'm walking out of my deck. I can see the ocean, the breeze. It's beautiful outside. It's like the perfect temperature. I can feel that I'm happy, right? I can see those things. Literally with my eyes closed right now, I can see those things. And what's happening in my brain is seeing that as well. It doesn't know that that's not really happening. It's seeing that as well, and it's making it a memory. It's making it a real memory, the same way that winning that spelling bee in 5th grade was a real memory. And just like that, if I keep visualizing every single day, which you're going to be doing when you create your practice, every single day, I'm visualizing these things, I'm going to be shifting that belief, and I'm going to be reprogramming my filter into what it is that I want, right? Second step is keeping the vision. Keep it in your mind, and now we need to connect to the emotions, because something becomes a memory, a real memory, when we attach an emotion to it, right? Again, our emotions are everything. Our thoughts create our emotions, and that creates our actions. So it has to be connected emotionally. So think about, don't just say like, oh, it's cool. Think again, 100 emotions, really connect here. How do you feel? When I wake up and I can see myself and I am just healthy and I'm living where I want to live, and there's an acai bowl being delivered to me outside on my patio, and I'm able to sit down and there's an incense burning, I can smell it, and it makes me feel calm, and I feel so supported, and I feel so proud of myself, and I feel so in tune and aligned and content with my life. And I can, like, I literally, guys, I can feel it. I can literally feel it. And that's what you need to do. You need to feel how it feels. Be as descriptive as you possibly can about what it is that you're visualizing in your mind. Connect not only your eyes to it, but your heart to it. How does it feel? How do you feel when you have that thing, and what's happening in your life? So let's go back to the job thing. Say that you don't feel valued at work. So if you're visualizing feeling valued at work, you would visualize walking into the office and you see everybody, they see you coming in and they're like, oh my gosh, hi, good morning, what a great day it is, you look beautiful today, and that speech you gave yesterday was amazing. Think about how good you feel. You're standing taller, you're walking with confidence, you feel secure in yourself, you feel valued, you feel happy, you feel excited to be at work, right? You see yourself walking into the office, the conference room, and someone asks a question and you stand up and you raise your hand and you have a voice and you look down at everybody and they're smiling at you because they agree with what you're saying, and you feel so fulfilled and whole in your work, right? So then the next time what you've just done is you've created that memory in your mind the way it would in real life. So now when you go to work, you've bridged the gap, because you're not going to go to work feeling like I'm not valued, because now you know how it feels to feel valued, and you're going to act from that space. You're going to act from that space of, I know how this feels, and I'm going to be that now exists for me. So now my filter is going to be looking for ways to support that. And it's probably not going to be the first day, but in your practice, you're going to visualize this every single day. Every single day, twice a day for a minute. That's what you're going to do. And eventually, I promise you, it is science, your filter will find proof and evidence to support it. And you will have all the motivation and all the connection that you need to continue living that way and being in that space. So the next time that you go to work, you're gonna walk in and you're not gonna feel belittled, and you're not gonna look for things, because you're gonna walk in and you're gonna feel loved and supported. And you're gonna feel like valued, right? Because you know how that feels. So the next time when you go into a conference room, you're not gonna be thinking of reasons, your brain's not gonna be thinking of reasons to not speak up. You're just gonna speak up because you know how it feels to be valued, and you've been living from that space. So this is key. Visualizing it and feeling it as if it is, literally as if it is, changes your filter, and that's immediately how you collapse the timeline, how you bridge the gap, and how you start opening the doors and pulling in the things that you want instead of sitting around and saying someday it'll come. We're collapsing the timelines right now by you taking the time every single day to visualize what it is you want and feeling it 100% and reprogramming your filter.